Okay, so today I will be comparing the poems Vernal Equinox in Autumn by Amy Lowell. I will start with Vernal Equinox, and I will use the tools of sights and sounds and imagery. The scent of hyacinths, like a pale mist, lies between me and my book. Here the scent of hyacinths is a really strong scent, and we can see this because the poet here has said that the scent of hyacinths lies between her and the book. So the scent of hyacinths would actually be an abstract thing, but the poet has said that it lies between her and her book, so it's actually now something almost solid. You can almost see the scent of hyacinths, even though it's abstract. But the poet has also used a simile here, and compared the scent of hyacinths to a pale mist by using like. So here we can see that the scent of hyacinths is like a pale mist, which is all like a mist is cloud-like. So you know it's there. It's actually almost solid, but a mist is like it's cloud-like, and it's actually a weak description. And the poet has also used the word pale. Pale is also something weak, a weak color. So even though the scent of hyacinths is between her and her book, we can actually see that it's a weak scent of hyacinths. And the south wind washing through the room. Washing through the room, the south wind couldn't actually wash through the room, so it's actually personification. And the south wind, because it washes through the room, it's not an image. Wind couldn't actually be an image, but we can see that the south wind would actually disturb the room, and after that the poet actually says it makes the candles quiver, so it has disturbed the room, and it has showed its presence in the room. My nerves sting at a spatter of rain on the shutter. Spatter is a really great word choice here, and it makes an image here. For the first time, there's actually something that's not abstract but solid, so you could actually see spatter of rain, and you could picture that in your mind, and you can actually almost hear it. So maybe it's onomatopoeia, like you could hear the spatter of rain. It's not just the rain falling, but it's the spatter of rain. And I am uneasy with the thrusting of green shoots outside in the night. Why are you not here to overpower me with your tense and urgent love? So what the poet has done here is, well, she's made this image in our head, built up this picture of the scent of hyacinths, the wind gushing through in the room, disturbing the candles, and like the spatter of rain and everything. And then there's this sentence that has nothing to do with that picture, but about somebody. So this, like, it makes you think about it. After all of these things that have happened, why aren't you here? So it's almost like the poet here is in anxiety or is uneasy, and she wants this person right now because of all of these things. The second poem, Autumn. So from the title you can actually see that this poem is also, like, it also takes nature into account, just like the poem before by the same author, Amy Lowell. So here we start. They brought me a quilt yellow dahlia. Opulent, flaunting. Flaunting is personification because a yellow dahlia couldn't actually flaunt. People flaunt. And flaunt is almost like showing off. So a yellow dahlia is almost showing off its beauty, which I think is a great description, very strong description. And because, like, when you show off, you're trying to make other people jealous. So the yellow dahlia is almost making other people jealous with its beauty. So it's so beautiful that others can actually be jealous of it. Round gold flung out of a pale green stalk. So round gold is something very valuable. So the yellow dahlia here is also this compared to something very valuable, so it would be a metaphor. And the author has actually used the same word here, pale, which she had used in the previous poem, pale green stalk. So even though the pale green stalk doesn't really have much importance or value in this poem, it's still flung out of a pale green stalk, so it still has some emphasis, some oomph to it. Round ripe gold of maturity, meticulously frilled and flaming. Flaming. It's like it reminds you of fire. So fire is like, it has a very strong color, and it's like a very strong description. And then the poet says, a fireball of proclamation, which is almost like flaming, but this is a metaphor. And fecundity decked in staring yellow, for all the world to see. When the poet says for all the world to see, I actually remember the part where the poet says that the yellow dahlia is flaunting. So again here it's almost like the yellow dahlia is trying to make people jealous of it, or is trying to show off again. So it's so beautiful that everybody who sees it is astonished and mesmerized in its beauty. They brought a quilled yellow dahlia. It's the repetition of the first sentence in the poem. So there's emphasis to the yellow dahlia again. And anyway, the poem is actually describing the yellow dahlia throughout. So it's building a picture of the yellow dahlia in our heads. To me, who am barren, shall I send it to you? You who have taken with you all I once possessed. So the poet has actually done something that she has done in the previous poem. She has built an image in our head, a picture about nature, and then the last sentence here is something about another person, about a person she probably loves. And it's the same thing. So, and here she actually gives importance to this person. You can see this by where she asks the question, all I once possessed. So if that person has all what you once possessed, then that person is really important to you. That person is probably your life, your everything. So the poet here is trying to ask a question to, like, in both poems, she's asking a question to the person she loves, and almost saying, why don't you love me? Why aren't you here? And like, she's maybe in a dilemma. So the poems, even though you think that they're about nature in the beginning, they actually like build up to this question, which is very interesting, and it captures the attention of the reader. These poems, well, there's not really rhythm in these, and well, like, do I like these poems? I really like both of them because I like the image that they build. I have a picture in my head, and I just like how the descriptions are. I just love the descriptions here. So I think Amy Lowell as a poet is really successful. So I like this poem and everything. So thank you for listening. Bye.